but then Matthew, predictably, that first game back from a road trip, very hard for the guys to get locked in, and it took them the better part of the game. They finally did get locked in, but a little too late. So kind of a downer after such a productive road trip.
Yeah, and they didn't really deserve a point last night against San Jose. The Sharks outplayed them uh, pretty handily, I would say, particularly in the first 40 minutes. That first period, they were outshot 14-4. They just made too many kind of simple errors, right? You had two odd man rushes, two 2-on-1s that were almost identical in that the defenseman pinches down the wall, a forward doesn't cover effectively for them at the point. The Sharks chip the puck out, and suddenly it's a 2-on-1 going the other way, ends up in the back of the net. And the second one of those, when Jake Wallman scores, was particularly damaging just because it came right after Braden Shen pulled the Blues within one goal. So, they were right there, kind of pushing to make it a game in the third period, cut it to one goal twice, and ultimately it was the mental mistakes that really did them in last night against San Jose. And this was a game that the Blues had worried about, to be quite honest. There was a, a time almost 2 weeks ago, after the Blues lost to Philadelphia in overtime at home, where they first talked about changing the time of their morning skate because they wanted to get just a little more sleep uh, out of their guys. They flew back from Vancouver on Wednesday, landed back in St. Louis around 3:30 or so, and then they moved their morning skate back on Thursday. They kind of knew this would be an issue. The tiredness, weariness, whatever you want to call it, and it ended up proving correct. They just didn't have whatever they needed in the opening 40 minutes, and by the time they found it, they was already a little bit too late.
Yeah, the Sharks played the Blues tough earlier in the season, so it's not like the Blues are taking the team lightly. They've already seen the Sharks. They know they've got a lot of Sharks have a lot of young skill. Blues have had to scramble to get points against the Sharks this year, and then so by the time they get the third look at them, that's not the issue. It's just and fans maybe don't want to hear it, but jet lag's a thing. Jumping time zones a thing. When you're trying to play at a very high level, it requires a high level of concentration and great intensity, physical, stamina, the stamina and the freshness. All these things are required, and it is a thing. And the NHL is full of these trap doors in the schedule. There are a number of these games in the course of a schedule, and the Blues